Hello there. It is Auntie, and I know it's late. I know it's late, and I know I'm late. But I wanted to make sure I came out. Hi, everybody. I absolutely miss you. This is Auntie, and it is our time to start our live chat and nightcap talking all things the seven broken brothers. If this is your first time being here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And to all of my subscribers, my nieces and my nephews, hello, hello, hello. We're going to go ahead on and get into this conversation. Let me put my glasses on so I can say hi to everybody. Hi Samantha Asia. Hi Debbie Vogue. Hi Kimber Gant. Hello Jessica Abad. Hi Nola Baby. Hi Kathy Kwan. Hi Gina Seacrest. Hi. Hi Abria Barbuza. Hi. Hi Tasha Smith. Hi Sarah. Sarah's on her way home, so I'm hoping that she is already home. Yep, there she goes. Hi, Sarah. Hi, y'all. That's right. Thumbs up when you come into the room. Hi, Brandy. Good to see you back out again. It is so wonderful to be out. Hi, Maria's Life. Hi, sweetie. How are you? We're going to have an interactive, hopefully, conversation. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We're going to have an interactive conversation tonight talking about the seven broken brothers. I had put off, as I told you all, I think it was last week that I had put this off because I wanted all three of the episodes to come together. Um, Before I came out and made and rendered a final decision about this particular episode and how I felt about it. Hi, Thickum Candy Poo 007. Okay. All right for the Thickums. Don't forget the thumbs up when you come into the room. Sarah, if you could just kind of remind them periodically. When you thumbs up, when I take these glasses off, that lets me know that you're here, you're live, and you are in the family. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead on. Hey, have a say what? Have a say what? Hey, Meryl McPherson. Hi. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I don't know if this thing is going to freeze. I know that there have been some people who've been doing lives and it freezes in the middle and the picture gets distorted. If that happens, I will continue rolling until I see something from Sarah that says, Auntie, you need to stop and come back on again. I haven't watched the show either, just missed it. Okay, not a problem, sweetie. Um, so this particular this is a three-part series that Iyanla Vanzan did on Seven Broken Brothers, and I'm not sure where these brothers live at or anything like that, but um, we see them come into the house, and the brother Marvin is the one who ended up calling Iyanla and telling her that, I have these brothers and we're not close. We have a lot of problems that are going on in our household or in our family with the siblings. And he talks, to Iyanla about it. And she says, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead on and do a show off of that. And as you know, if you have been watching the Iyanla Vanzan, and for those of you who haven't, people write into her and she basically tries to help them solve either their problems or problems that are going on in their family. So what I don't want to do is assume that everybody know who Iyanla is or what Iyanla Fix My Life is about. Okay. So that's the first thing I want to make sure that I do, that I clear up what it is that she does. And so he wrote into them because he has these brothers. The children were born to parents Michael Mitchell Sr., who is 59, and Leronda, who is the mom, who's 58 years old. Between the two of them, they had 7 sons. And when they come into the house, the name of the episode, wait a minute, hold on, let me get the episode right. It's Iyanla Fix My Life, Crack Addiction, Abandonment, and Seven Broken Brothers. And so they come into the house, and we see Michael Jr., who is 36 years old. He has an 8-year-old brother. He is the oldest of the siblings. And then we have Miguel, who was right up underneath him, and he is deceased. Ah, sweetie. And then we have Miguel, who's deceased. We have another brother who is missing by the name of Monte, and Monte is incarcerated. Okay. The next brother we have is Marcus. He is 32 years old. He has 4 sons. And he blames Michael Jr. for the death of his brother Miguel. Okay. Um, he says that he can't see past his own pain to forgive Michael Jr. for Miguel's death. And so we'll go into that. The next brother we have is Mikhail. Mikhail. He is 30, and he is the peacemaker, deemed the peacemaker of the family. And then we have Marvin, who is 29 years old. He, again, is the one who wrote Iyanla for the help. And then we have Melvin, who is 28 years old. He's the youngest of the 7 brothers. And so, yes, I did take some notes. So from time to time, I am going to be stopping to read, okay? So, Iyanla goes on to talk about that these are 7 damaged brothers, 5 now, well 6 because the other one is not dead; he's just incarcerated. Um, she says that these are damaged brothers who are a result of 2 damaged parents. Now the mom had these sons. Some of them are stitched-up, as you can see from the ages. But she was on crack. A lot of her children, and these particular children, were born crack addicted. Between the brothers, they have been in 85 different foster homes. Hear what I'm saying. Between the 7 brothers, they have been in 85 different foster homes. Because their mama was on crack. Now, as many of us know, back in the 80s and the 90s, crack was a big thing in our communities. It came in. How it came in, I don't know. I'm not going to speak about any conspiracy theories or anything like that. But it came into the African American community, and it absolutely destroyed homes. Yes, Auntie, back in the late 80s, early 90s, was affected by it as well with a family member. And I won't, disclose that or anything, but a lot of us who are my age, like in our 50s and our late 40s, we were affected by crack addiction. It was almost like everybody in the neighborhood had at least one person who was addicted to crack. We saw it last year when Iyanla tried to fix the life of a mother who was crack addicted and was having all these daughters, and I believe she had 6 daughters. And so back in the 80s and the 90s, it really was a big hi, I see y'all rolling in. Hi. So a lot of us have been intimately affected by crack addiction. So it's not something that I'm unsympathetic to, or can't relate to. I can very closely relate to it. So this particular mother was on crack, but continued to have baby after baby after baby. Iyanla asks her during the episode, when she finally gets to talk to this mom, why did you continue to have baby after baby after baby? Her reason for doing this was because when she married Michael Sr., his mom had 7 kids, and so she wanted to give him 7 kids like his mama. Girl, bye. Sit that ex-crack addicted down. Like, are you serious? Here you are having crack addicted babies, And the only thing you thinking about is giving this man baby after baby and bringing crack addicted babies in here, and you can't take care of them, didn't take care of them, wouldn't take care of them, couldn't take care of them, and you having 7 kids. Like, really, for real, that's what they doing now? Okay, I gotta digress. I gotta. So Marvin and Melvin, as we see in this particular episode, they were living in the same with the same adopted parents. Their caseworker indicated to Marvin, okay, who was, at that time was supposed to have been getting adopted, that his foster parents wanted to not only adopt him but to adopt his 6 brothers. He didn't even realize he had 6 brothers until the caseworker, told him that he had these brothers and everything. And Marvin does not know what happened. Um, he was in the home with his brothers. Okay, this got crazy. Okay, so Marvin was in the home with his brothers. He was in there with Marcus, Miguel, Mikhail, and him. And he said that, they ran away. Okay, they ran away from the foster homes. The brothers go into detail and talk about the abuse and everything that they had, experienced in these different foster homes. And Marvin says that, the brothers ran away and they left him. And they left him in the home. And he said, he, Marcus, which is the brother that came off very, very angry. He said that he left him, or they left him because, number one, they thought that they had put enough fear into the foster and adoptive parents that they would not bother him. And number two, they felt like that Marvin was able to talk his way out of a paper bag, that everybody loved him and everything. He talks about another young gentleman who was 19 years old, who was living in the foster home but became homeless. And so he decided that he was going to come back into the household. When he came back into the household, Marvin said that, this guy, this 19-year-old dude, was being really, really nice to him. And that, he was being really, really nice to him. And he knew that something bad was going to happen. He said he felt it in his gut that something bad was going to happen. And he said that if this guy, this 19-year-old guy, was giving him gifts and buying him clothes and shoes and doing all of that kind of stuff and just really being kind to him. He said one night when he was laying in bed that the guy came and started pulling his pants down. And he said that he did not stop him because he felt like he deserved it. That if anybody be nice to you, that you basically have to, give something in exchange. And, that's a really sad place for a young boy who, number one, just found out that he has, other siblings. And then they move in with him and they run away and they leave him. They felt like if they had taken him with them, that he couldn't handle that runaway life. And I mean, maybe he could, maybe he couldn't. But, they felt like it was better for him to stay. And they felt like they had made the environment where he would not get abused. But I guess what they did not do was put enough fear in this 19-year-old's mind, heart, or whatever, that he would not touch him, that he didn't feel like, he was afraid enough not to touch him. Like, I can't relate to that. And but I am very sympathetic and empathetic to that. Like how, I'm sure that he was afraid, he was scared. He talked about a lot of things that had happened in his life and how he, currently, lives in depression. He battles depression, and that he travels from place to place to be with men, to sleep with them. He travels to sleep with men. And like, that just broke my heart. Like, it totally broke my heart. Because I can't even imagine that happening to anybody that I know. I've never experienced it. And so I can't speak from that. But my heart, like, really went out to him. And I was so I was so happy that he did reach out for the help that he needed. Let me stop and read your question. Nessa G, hi sweetie. She says, I work for a child mental health agency foster care provider. I noticed that most children in the system have three plus siblings, and a lot of these children are also abused in the foster homes. It's sad. And you know, it really is sad because Iyanla went on to talk about how these foster parents bring these kids into their house and they take care of them and they abuse them and they still get paid. Heifer say what's it? I find it interesting. The two youngest are both gay, and even though they aren't close, showed solidarity when Marcus dropped the F bomb. Absolutely, they did. Hey, CS, how you doing, sweetie? Hey, Kimber Grant. Hey, Ann R. Hi, sweetie. Hi, DJ Coco Joe. Hi, Sandra Schultz. I see some of y'all coming in later on. I just want to say hi to everybody. Hi, Miss Michelle. Yes, the dad was on drugs as well, Miss Michelle. Hi, Stephanie Cole. Hi, y'all. So good to see y'all names. Hi, Nola baby. Hi, Gigi Rivera. She says, so sad, but this is the stuff people need to be discussing. All this trauma bottled up is dangerous. Absolutely. Brandy said, yep, I have a friend when I was younger who had been raped by a foster parent. A lot of people are only doing it for the money. And it's so sad because it's just, it's so sad. Okay. Need to log off and see what I'm typing. Huh? Wait a minute, what she say? Hi, Meryl McPherson. Need to log off. Anyone see what I'm typing? Yeah, we see it, baby. Hi, Leslie Burbank. Hi, sweetie. Parents failed them. Social services society failed them. Hi, Bobby Whitley. Oh, thank you. So, I typed a lot of notes, so because it's 3 episodes worth. But right, these foster parents bring these children into their home. And not all foster parents, because there are some phenomenal, fantastic foster parents. So when we're talking about that, I do not want to not recognize those foster parents and adoptive parents who are fantastic, who do not take advantage of the system, who love these children as their own. And so I do want to make sure that I take time out to say that, because not all foster parents are cruddy. Okay, so let's just make sure that, we say that. So anyway, like I said, Marvin, when he was, being molested by this 19-year-old person, he felt like he deserved it because he has to pay the price for someone being nice to him. And you know what? You don't. If people are being nice to you, you don't owe anybody anything. And if you're being molested, try to talk to somebody. And I know that that's easier said than done. But if you're being molested, try to talk to somebody outside of your home, and you know what, he probably did, you know what I'm saying? But when the foster system and society fails us, and you move the kids from foster home to foster home thinking that you're saving them or that you're helping them, and then they go into a situation that's worse, it's sad. And the thing about it in the African American community, and I don't know about any other community because I've never lived as any other color or race than being black. I've always been black. I've never been anything else. And so I can't speak to anybody else's culture. But in the African American community, one thing that we did not talk about was sexual abuse that happened to our sons. A lot of us would talk about abuse that happened to the girls, but we never talked about African American men. And I don't think that everybody is gay because they were molested. The brother Melvin goes on to talk about how he was in the foster care system and they would call him the F word. I'm not going to say that on my channel. And how he had always been feminine. So it wasn't, because he was being abused or anything that he chose to live a homosexual life it was just always in him. The other brother, Marvin, I'm not sure if it was because of the molestation that he experienced by the 19-year-old or not. So, I know that someone says something about the two youngest brothers being homosexual. I don't know if that was as a result of the trauma that they went through in their life. I do know that there are some people I know personally, some people who, as a result of being molested or being raped or incest and different things in their family when they were young, this is something that they feel like happened to them, and they, as a result of that, they became lesbian or gay. But then I know some other people who believed and believe that they, are born in the wrong body, and this is something, a lifestyle that they have chosen. And you know what? I'm not here to judge anybody based on their race, their creed, their color, their sexual orientation, their familial status, their disability, their age. I'm the last person who's going to be placing any judgment on anybody. The only thing that I'm doing is just telling this story. And hopefully, by the end of this, somebody will be healed about what they have seen, experienced, heard from this show. Okay, so no judgment from Auntie. Like, no judgment from Auntie. Period. Okay, now that I've gotten that out the way. Sometimes you have to say that because, people, there are all kinds of people who come to my channel, and I want to be respectful of everybody. I want to make it clear where I stand. And I'm not judging anybody. I don't have a room to judge people. I got a whole bunch of, skeletons and stuff like that in my closet. And the minute I open them up, them be falling out, okay? So what do you say? Okay. Okay. Oh, sure, saying something out there. Hi, Gracie Mac. Hi, Lima Beamer. Hi, sweetie. Oh, thank you, Lena Ass. So Iyanla tells him that he does not need to be ashamed of anything he had to do to be safe in his life. And he tries to drown everything out by driving to meet these men. He travels to find love between the man's legs and then judges himself for it and thinks about killing himself. Like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. Like, I was like, did y'all not cry? Like, I was like, okay, help me to hold out. He doesn't want to die. He just wants to stop hurting. Like, I can break into a spiritual hymn up on this Marty Dotty. We like to party. Iyanla makes the brothers build a shelter. She just gives them some tools, some wood and some tape and a tarp. And the brothers go out and build tape, try to build this shelter, and they start arguing. And we see Marvin, who is the one who actually wrote the show, wrote to Iyanla, really get, out of whack. Because Melvin, the brother that's a year older than him, says, look, I'm over here sweating and I'm working on building this, this shelter. And all you doing is standing there. And so, Marvin gets upset and he walks away, calls his brother a bingo. And Iyanla goes and talks to him and says, here you go. You're used to running. You need to stay in the situation. You need to go back to your brother and you need to tell him, look, you know what? I apologize for, kicking off and everything like that. And I had a moment. And so he goes back after, talking to the Iyanla, because see, their lives have been so dysfunctional. When their brother Miguel died, Marvin and Melvin and all the other brothers thought that it would bring them closer, but it didn't. The brothers go in and they talk about, well, wait a minute, let me finish with the shelter. So he goes back and he apologizes, for his, his outburst and him walking away, and he says, what can I do to help? And so they build this shelter and this rickety and crickety. And Iyanla said, you know what, this is a representation of your life, where your life is and where it's going. You all didn't have any directions. You didn't have the tools to be successful in life. You didn't have the tools to do the right thing. Hello. Hey, JM. No. But JM, you don't have to come out here and tell me you're Mexican. Like, what difference does that make? It's only going to be an issue if you make it an issue. And just Sarah is out here just to make sure that it doesn't become an issue. I don't care that you're Mexican. You don't even have to announce that. We are a family channel, and that's what we believe, okay? So, okay, JM. All right, baby. Mwah. Okay. Sandra Schultz said, we love all races. That's right. I mean, okay. We don't know what your fingers are when you get to type it and everything. I mean, fingers ain't got no race. You know what I'm saying? Have lovely life. Have loving life. That's right, Gracie Mac. We are all family here. Yes, it was very poignant, and I loved it. Marvin was the one that had the blonde hair on the top of his hair. Oh, I miss you too, sweetie. Your little channel been doing good. Okay. I would say what said we all black when the electric bill don't get paid. Okay. Don't we be sitting in the dark? No, see, no, but teeth and eyes, okay? All right, teeth and eyes. Let me get focused. See, that's why I don't be putting my glasses on. So anyway, they built the shelter, and she was like, it shows that you all can work as a team and that you did the best you could with what you knew to do. Given the tools, the proper tools, they could have built a wonderful shelter. But their parents weren't the proper tools. They were vessels in which, God used to bring them into this life. And so we see them when they come back in the house and they, start having a discussion and everything. Marcus is the brother that at first, when he first introduced himself, I didn't like him. Like, I wasn't feeling him. I felt like he was all erratic. He was violent. He was, loud and boisterous. He didn't want anybody to talk. He was dysfunctional at his dysfunction. And, he was just everything that I don't like in a man. And then I had to step back and realize, this brother, when they told the story about the brother Miguel that died, and, the brother Montez in jail, Michael Jr. was the one who was there. He a little slow. He has a learning disorder. Come to find out, he was born crack addicted. And nobody ever even diagnosed him. Never even said that here he is. How old is this man? Hold on, y'all. Let me see how old this man is. I think he's 30. He's 36 years old, and this Marty, he don't even know what he has. He doesn't know if he doesn't look like he has Down syndrome because he doesn't have the traits or the characteristics of somebody that has Down syndrome. But he doesn't even know, does he got ADHD, ADD? Is he just, have a learning disability because of the crack cocaine? Like, how did he go through school and nobody diagnosed him? Or maybe one of the foster parents did know what was wrong with him, but you could sit up there and look at him and see he got some crazy eyes and everything. And so, something went down. He got a phone call or something, or his brother got a phone call. They was told to go outside because the brother, Michael Jr., had gotten robbed. Because, he probably was out there in the streets and everything, slow walking and slow talking. And the brothers were very protective of one another. And so, Miguel went out with him. He ended up getting killed. And Michael Jr. got shot in the leg. Well, Marcus goes off because Marcus feels like Michael Jr. was the cause of his brother's death. And Marcus is one of those guys who, by his own admission, says that, he doesn't think before he acts. He just acts and he just does what he does. And, like, it got all out of control. And Melvin was trying to check him. And then, Melvin was trying to allow Michael Jr. to tell his story, wanting to hear, what he had to say, and was kind of trying to defend him, saying, you won't dare. And so Marcus' problem is that, Michael Jr. hasn't told him what really happened. But he feels responsible because he felt like he's the protector over the family. And so Melvin was like, girl, boy, and he got all angry and everything. So, it's just chaotic. It's a whole lot of stuff coming out. And Marcus just is grief-stricken because his brother is gone. He felt like he was the protector. He despises Michael Jr. because he's slow and can't articulate, what happened. Nobody believes him. They don't believe that he's even told the real story, the true story, the whole story. So help me God. And so it's just a big mess of everything. And when I first was introduced to Marcus, I just was like, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him. But then later on, I grew to love him as we saw the growth that happened in him. And he just, he was so angry, and he was like, I was like, let's go get the gun. We're going to go out there and somebody's going to get killed. And Iyanla was like, somebody did get killed. Your brother did. And it just didn't happen the way that you wanted to. Somebody got killed, and it was your brother. And so he's carrying around this grief because, number one, he blames himself for his younger brothers being abused in foster homes because they ran away. They talked about when they ran away how they were sleeping in an abandoned car on the highway, and they didn't even have coats and stuff like that. Like, they've had a horrible life. And at the same time, here you got this mama and this daddy that are still living, breathing, moving in this world, and they can't give an explanation for why the hell they weren't there. The mother makes every kind of excuse. Okay, I gotta slow down. I just got a drink. I had to do a red cup for the night because I was just like, you know what? I don't need to have no wine glass out on this. Y'all, let me tell y'all, this thing got so out of control for me. And I just was like, Michael, Marcus really believes that he should have protected his brother. He learned coping skills, he says, from the streets. He is not proud of himself, and he believes his brothers paid the price for his bad decisions. So, see, he was already out there gang banging and doing all of that kind of stuff, and he felt like his brothers paid the price for that. And you know what? That's not the truth, because you know what? We pay the price for our own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can pay a price for you. Now, you can get people set up and get them put in situations that make it difficult and hard for them. But you know what? The ultimate thing is you got to make a decision. And one thing I liked about Mikhail is they were talking about an incident that happened. And Mikhail was like, you know what? Hey, the reason why I didn't go out there when you called me, Marcus, is because I was at home being a dad. See, Marcus has 4 children. And they were talking to him in the room the next day and telling him, when you don't think about the decisions that you make, when you fly off the handle and you automatically want to resort to violence, you make a decision for everybody in your life. You make a decision for you, and you make a decision for your children. And it's the same thing that I think about in my life. I was rough and rugged and doing all kinds of stuff, gangbanging, running the street, acting like a complete and total idiot when I was younger. And then, there came a time in my life where I had to pump my brakes and slow down. You can't be walking around fighting people and cutting people and, hypothetically, allegedly, I lived that kind of life. And I had to make a decision that I needed to grow up. Like I was going to either be dead or somebody else was going to be dead. And then where would my life have been? And then you know what? Then God, in all his graciousness, his mercy, his kindness, blessed the fruit of my womb and gave me a child in my belly. And so I learned that, you know what, now everything that I do, directly affects my daughter. And this is the life that I want to live. Have I done everything right, even with my daughter being alive? No. But my life had to take a turn. It was time for me to take a turn and grow the hell up. And that is what I opted to do. And I realized through relationships and stuff like that, that everything that I do has a direct effect on my daughter. And so I've learned to be kind to people, to be long suffering, to try to keep my mouth shut, you know what I'm saying? To try to handle situations with tact and diplomacy. I've learned how to grow up. And Marcus, we saw him over the 3-day period grow up and be that man to take accountability and responsibility for the stuff that he has done in his life, the things that he is responsible for and not responsible for. It wasn't Marcus' job to take his daddy's role. It was his daddy's job. When Iyanla sat down with the daddy, he couldn't even explain and would not explain. He still was covering the mother and was talking about the mother was, in rehab. How the is she in rehab and she's having baby after baby after baby after baby and living in Kansas? And then we get introduced to a daughter. Oh my God, we get introduced to a daughter by the name of Kizzy, who is the oldest. She's 38 years old. And here this young lady thinks that her mother doesn't like her. And you know what? None of them think that the mother liked them because she didn't. Iyanla tells the mother, you don't even know who you are. For a woman to have 7 children and not take care of nary one of them, you absolutely don't know who you are. Because it is when I had my daughter that I discovered who I was as a woman, who I am as a mother, who do I want to be. And you know what? And as long as you have breath in your lungs, you have an opportunity every day to reinvent yourself. No, you may not have crossed all your T's and you may not have dotted all your I's, but you have an opportunity every day when you open up your eyes to reinvent yourself. You also have a responsibility and the ability to fix and mend relationships. Let me tell you something. Unforgiveness will kill you. It will kill you. Because it will gnaw at every organ in your body and cause it to dysfunction. You know why? Because unforgiveness is just like you taking poison and expecting the other person to die. People have moved on. Someone may have bothered you. They may have done something to you and wronged you in your life. But trust me, if you hold on to unforgiveness, you never move from that state. You are always in that state, offended. Off-ended. Have you all ever heard of off-ended, offended? It means that you were on a path and you allowed yourself to off and end that walk. You can't stay offended with people. You can't off-end your life at 15. You can't off-end your life at 20. You can't even off-end your life at 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. You have got to keep walking the path and the purpose that God has given you to walk. You can't stay off-ended. You can't stay offended and in unforgiveness. Unforgiveness. I now don't have the opportunity to give you anything because I'm not forgiving. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm breaking this word down for that. Yes. Unforgiveness. I'm unfor it. I'm not for forgiving. I'm not for giving you life. I'm not for giving you love. I'm not for giving you empathy. I'm not for giving you sympathy. I don't give you any of that because I'm sitting in unforgiveness. I can't give you anything. And that's where you are, where you find yourself in unforgiveness. You have nothing to give anyone from the moment that you sit yourself and you posture yourself in that nasty thing that has happened in your life. You have got to move on. You can't be off-ended. You've got to walk the path. And unforgiveness takes you off your path for life. And the other person is still walking. They're still walking their path. And you sit back and you wonder, how in the world can they continue to be blessed and continue to get houses and cars and a good job? Don't they know what they did to me? Don't they remember how to? No, they don't, because they didn't get off their path. You did. You got off, not them. You cannot allow anybody or anything, regardless of how hard it is, to stop your planned purpose for being on this earth. Because let me tell you, at any given moment, it can all end. And then what do you have to show for yourself? What is your legacy? Will you be stuck? You can't be stuck. You can't be stuck. You cannot be stuck. Can't stay there. These brothers were destructive to everything and everyone in their life because they got off-ended with their parents. And I know it was hard. Oh my God, I know it was hard. And it may be hard for you in your life, but you gotta move on. You got to learn how to release it. Some people ain't never going to say they sorry. They never going to take accountability for their stuff. They never going to come back and say, I was wrong. They never going to do it. But does that mean that you're stuck? Will you allow yourself to be stuck? Because you couldn't get a sorry? And most of the time when you get in the sorry and the forgive me, it ain't genuine. We looked at the mother. Here you got a daughter sitting in your face that's saying, you ain't never liked me or loved me. God help me. You ain't never liked me or loved me. And that's flesh of your flesh, bone of your bone. And then we got Michael Jr., who's the oldest boy. He sits and says the same thing. I don't think you like me or love me. If anybody got a reason to be angry and in despair, depressed, bitter, broken, it's them. But you can't let that be your story. You can't let that be your legacy. You can't do it. We all been hurt, broke down, busted, and disgusted. We all have an opportunity to be angry and in unforgiveness. Every last one of us. But there are people on the other side of your healing. And people who need to see you get your life together. There are people on the other side who need that hug from you, that love from you. There are people on the other side who need to see you be successful. There are people on the other side who need to see you fall down and get back up and run this race. There are people on the other side who need to see your destiny. They need to see your end. They need to see you healed. They need to see you delivered. They need to see you free. And staying in all of this bitterness is not helping you or anybody else. Our lives are connected to one another. All of our lives are connected. And you never know who's watching your life and watching your story. You never know who's going to be on the chapters of your life. And what happens if you stop at chapter 2 because somebody did you wrong? Somebody disappointed you. Somebody molested you. Somebody abused you. Somebody robbed you of your youth. Somebody robbed you of your self-esteem. Do you stop at chapter 2? We need you to finish the book of your life. I mean to come out here and be crying like this. I swear that we needed to see their chapter end. Regardless of Michael Jr. and LaRonda. LaRonda made every excuse. I was on crack. I was sick. I was this. I was that. LaRonda, we don't care. We don't care about all of that right now. That's not relevant. What's relevant is that these children need you to show up in the room authentic. They don't need you to show up in the room with a whole bunch of excuses about what you did. Because let me tell you something. You can justify anything and everything. Don't make it right. I don't care how much you justify it. And when you wrong somebody, and we all have wronged people, the last is an excuse from us about why we did what we did. The hell with what you did and why you did it. It's time to show up in the room authentic. Fix it. Get my daggone self together up in here and get some of this. We got to show up in the room authentic. And a mother showed up in the room with a whole bunch of stuff. Because she still ain't there. She hasn't arrived to that place. Because all her life she's made an excuse. And you sit up here, sit up on the edge of your seat. Because you want to tell the daughter. Don't ever find yourself pointing your finger at nobody. Because 3 other fingers are bearing witness that the shoe need to be up on the other foot. Been there, done that too. It's all right to be wrong. It's all right, mama, to be wrong. It's all right that your children are jacked up and toe up from the flow up because you was crack addicted and you called yourself sick. It's all right to take accountability for your stuff. Show up in the room. But see, like Iyanla said, you didn't even know who you were. You still don't. Because at the end of the day, you ain't changed for none of them. Per your children who poured their heart out to America, put their story on the line, and you show up unauthentic in the room. I looked at that TV and I said, what is she here for? Here it is, your daughter. It's saying, I want to have a relationship with you. I want to talk to you, mommy, about things that affect me. I want to talk to you and get guidance from you for my children. Let me tell you something. Your mother can't guide a mouse to a trap. She couldn't guide an elephant to water. She's the last person you need to be asking for parental guidance from. Boo. But see, Iyanla told her, it's okay for you to be mad at your mother, but you're not that 13-year-old little girl anymore. It's time to grow up. Grow up. She told Marcus. Let me find that quote. Because see, Auntie is feeling herself, okay? I'm ready to preach out here, okay? With power, you make a permanent change. With force, you make a temporary one. See, she talked to him about the battery in the car. Okay? I'm about to be like Sean Bradley. Where's the ushers at the door? Okay? She talked to him about a car and about driving a car, and the car stalls because the battery's dead. You got two choices, Marcus. Either you can push the car to a destination, or you can change the battery and the car will continue to run to many designations. See, pushing that car by force is only a temporary fix, because at the end of the day, you still need a battery to make it go. You can't push it everywhere. That's force. But power is the battery source. That's God. God is our ultimate battery source. Y'all ain't trying to be out here preaching. But here's our ultimate battery source. There's somebody, whoever you believe in, however you meditate, there's somebody who can endow you with the power to be able to love again, to be able to forgive, to be able to forget. There's a higher being. There's somebody who will give you the energy that you need to move on and be better, be stronger, be wiser. And that's our God. Whoever he may be, whoever she may be, whatever it may be, you need to tap into a power source that's going to help you live your best life. And no, I ain't sitting up in here saying it's easy, because it ain't. I'm not saying it's easy. But I am saying it's doable. See, you looking at a broken woman. I was a broken woman. I knew everything about being broken. I blamed the whole world for things that happened to me in my life. You looking at a woman who was very familiar with unforgiveness, animosity, strife, hatefulness, backbiting. What you saying down there? What did that say? Something came up on the bottom. I don't know what it was. Something came up at the bottom. Oh, Gilbert's paranoia was hidden by just there. That's right, hide him. Because, see, you know what? Somebody need to hear what I'm saying, and I ain't got time for the ignorant stuff. I used to be a broken woman. Oh, I know about unforgiveness. I know about being offended. Yeah, I know about that. But I know that there is a God who has helped me to not sweat that small stuff, to show up authentic in the room, to learn how to let stuff just roll off my back. So anyway, we're going to go back and talk about that. When Iyanla talked to the dad, he was broken. His heart was open and ready to do the work. Was he trying to avoid certain conversations? Yeah, he was. Because he was still trying to cover the mother up. I understand, I didn't know what that was, but he was ready to do the work. He had a repentant heart. No, he didn't take responsibility for his sons. Oh yeah, he messed up. And the boys made him pay for that. They really did. But then there came a time when they were walking in forgiveness. See, I think when the brothers had their last altercation upstairs in that bedroom, and Iyanla was downstairs cooking breakfast, And they were up there fussing and arguing about Marcus not being in control of himself. And Melvin was like, I'm not going back down. It took that last volcanic eruption for those brothers to realize, I got to understand your pain as much as you got to understand mine. I think that that's when I saw Marcus take a turn, and also Melvin. Because, see, they all so used to hurting. You know, Iyanla told Marcus, she said, you know, your adopted, your foster parents were violent, and that's the way they handled you. And so you're perpetuating that same behavior to your brothers. See, because all Marcus wants to do is be loved. That's all he wanted, was to be loved. But Melvin wanted the same thing. I listened to Michael Sr., who was 59 years old, talk about he didn't know why the wife had left him. Iyanla said, how did you not know? He says, maybe it's because I ran, you know, around with women, and, you know, I cheated and I did drugs. And Iyanla was like, well, that's why she left. And, you know, he said, you know, but why did she leave the kids? Why did you make them? Why didn't you make a decision to stop impregnating her? You knew she was on crack. You knew you was doing drugs and running women. Why didn't you stop getting her pregnant? Why didn't you stop laying with her? Is your excuse because she was your wife? Is that your story, Michael? Even though your heart was open, you covered up some stuff. Iyanla told Michael, she said, your sons are dying a slow death of fear, rage, and inadequacy because you fell down on the job. How many people in our lives are living a life of fear, rage, and inadequacy because of things that we have fell down and not taken responsibility for? It's not too late to change. If God could change their lives, He could change all of our lives. You know, the Bible that I read, the one I read, says that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. There's nobody's sins that's worse than anybody else's. Don't ever judge or measure yourself by somebody else's stuff. We all have sinned. All of us. And so when I look and I tell their stories, I tell it with empathy and sympathy. But I'm saying, Michael, you should start putting that thing up in that thing. Okay. Iyanla explains to the brothers when they're in the bedroom going through all the trauma, she says that the brothers are accustomed to sharing their pain, but the problem lies in their ability to hear their shared pain and the pain of each other. I like when Iyanla talked to Melvin after the argument, and she said, you don't have to be right all the time. She says, you're black, you're a male, you're gay, and you came from dysfunction. But rather than sit in that pain, the pain of that, you fight to be right because you think that you're wrong. Did y'all hear that? Rather than sit in the pain of what and who we are and our past indiscretions, We fight to be right because we think that we're wrong. That's an aha moment. So they start playing bingo. And Iyanla has these balls, and she tries to make the moment light. And the game is called Breakthrough Bingo. And she rolls the ball, and the first ball that comes out is abandoned. And she asks them how many people were abandoned. And so they go on and say, who was abandoned. And Michael Jr. feels that he's the black sheep of the family. And Melvin says, "You are." And they felt like because he was slow or he had some type of mental disability um, that they were protecting him, but he felt abandoned and alone. And they ignored him and act like they ain't see him. So he finally comes out to says, what his stuff is. The next thing that she pulls out, the next bingo ball she pulls out is abuse. And Mikhail starts talking about being abused by his foster parents. What's that? Oh, yeah. So he talks about being abused by his foster parents and how, if he made one simple mistake, how they would tear him down and run him into the ground. Verbal abuse. And then he talks about homelessness and asks them, Yana pulls the bingo ball in this homelessness, and she talks about, them being homeless, and they said how they ran away and lived in the car. And when she asked the father, how did you know any of this? He was like, no, nobody ever told me. And she says, how does it make you feel? And he said, it pisses me off. And she said, you're pissed with who? And he said, with myself. But he was helpless. He couldn't do anything. He was on the system. The system was running him raggedy, taking him to all kinds of sessions and psychoanalysis and his kids and everything. He couldn't do it. It just was nobody in their life to do it. She asked about guilty. That was the next bingo ball that came out. And then that's when we really start hearing Marcus talk about, how he felt guilty that his brother died and he felt like he didn't protect his brothers. And that's when, he gets back to back with Iyanla, and she's like, tell your truth. And he breaks down and he tells his truth, and then Mikhail comes over and he gets in front of his brother, and he's just telling his truth, and he's like, I failed my brothers, and I hate my father, and I just was like, go ahead on and get free. Get free. The dad attempts to get up and leave, and Iyanla was like, where are you going? He sits back down. Because her whole thing is you got to take responsibility and accountability. And some things that you've been running from and some things that you haven't been wanting to hear, you gonna hear. And you know what? There's some things that we need to hear. There's some things we need to hear. Some mistakes and stuff that we've made, y'all, we need to hear them. It's okay. And one thing that I've learned through this story and through other stories is that I have learned that when someone is telling me their truth, that I don't have to defend myself. When they're giving me the truth of who they think I am, or what I've done in their life, or how I've hurt them, I don't have to defend myself. The only thing that I have to do is allow myself to hear what is being said and what's not being said. to pray about the situation, and to accept responsibility. Because what I have learned is that someone's perception is everything. And even if I didn't do it, I'm quick to apologize anyway. Because if forgiveness is what they need in order to move on, I'm willing to give it. So we see mama. See, the daughter thought that the mother, the daughter thought that the mother was with the boys. So she resented her brothers. The mother was with her. So they resented her. And she grew up with her grandmother, which was the mama's mama. And the grandmother wasn't loving. The grandmother, according to Kizzy, which is the sister, covered up everything by giving gifts. We see people doing stuff like that even with their children when they cover up stuff and they end up having obese children because they end up, doing everything, giving them food in order to comfort them. It's amazing the stuff we pick up. And not even on purpose. We just pick them up. But Iyanla, when she would continue to go on and said, you love the boys more, you was with the boys, Iyanla said, what boys? Who you talking about? And then she brings Marcus in, and Marcus says she went with us. We were foster homes. 85 different foster homes to be exact. What are you saying, sweetie? They were taken by various family members. That's when some of the abuse took place. Their perception is their true bottom line. That was a lot of kids to take on because you don't want to separate them. The dad is still running from his own truth. Absolutely, Tipsy Bow. I don't know why I'm not seeing y'all comments come up. And I have been wanting to engage with you all and read your comments. But for some reason, they're not coming back. Sarah, did I hit something? Or what did I do? The lines of brokenness are long. Hi, Mary Grace 5 McCain. Okay, they are slow. That means they listening. Now, I know my nieces and nephews. I know my nieces and nephews, and they are listening. I know they listening because they're so sweet. Mama Mia. And I think that Mama Mia, I think that they did end up getting some closure. At the end of the thing, they did get some. Now, there is a guy that has been on Instagram, Snapchat, and all of that kind of stuff. And his name was Delroy 101. Let me find this, y'all. Denzel 101. If y'all have ever seen this video of this man who is real skinny and anorexic, and he be on this bed and he be having I say he be. Fix that. There's this gentleman on YouTube named Denzel 101. He does all kinds of sexual perverted acts with plastic bags and backpacks wrapped up around his penis. And, he one time had an apple and he was trying to act like he was doing, all kinds of oral sex and stuff like that. That's Michael Jr. Iyanla pulled up his page. That's the oldest brother. And because he's so jacked up in the head, he got a YouTube channel. His father asked him, what the hell is wrong with you? Iyanla said, let's ask him. And he says he thought it was a joke. And here it is. He has an 8-year-old daughter. Who was that? Sarah, do I need to, who was that? He took the channel down, but he he took the channel. Oh, they retracted. Okay, he took the channel down, but he has not stopped making the videos. Let me say this. This was okay. He, he okay, but you know what? He's an idiot. He he's an embarrassment because that stuff, you can see those videos. You don't have to look at him, but those videos are still out there because what you put out there don't never go away. And so they still out there. Hey, Jaden 2.0. The next day, at the end of the closing, we're going to get all off of all of that. Yes, Mama Mia, it's a shame. He's a hardtail mess. When you get a chance, go out there and look. I think that some people still have his stuff out there. At the end of the day, you know, the guys put on suits and stuff. You know, Marcus has a conversation back and forth about his sister living the life. And you know, he talks about how he really didn't respect his sister, didn't like her. You know, the mother gets involved. Again, like I said, you know, Iyanla, you know, chastises the mom. It seems like the mom does have a likeness to, you know, to certain sons because she doesn't, you know, Michael Jr. never felt like that and that she loved him or anything like that. And so it's really unfortunate that that happened, but they look like they ended up, you know, resolving all of that because Iyanla let them both know that neither one of you all are right and neither one of you all are wrong. Your experiences and the way you see it, it all looks, you know, it's different. Nobody experiences things the same way. In closing, I'm going to close this out. Because I done been out here crying and everything, okay? About to tell all my business, all my life story. Because y'all know I've had my share. Yeah, of life's ups and downs. But fate's been kind. Yes! The downs have been few. Well, I guess you could say that I've been lucky. Yeah, I guess you could say, yes, that it's all because of you. If anyone, yes, could ever write my life story. That's why that's my song. Let me tell you. Oh, for whatever reason there might be. Oh my God. Okay. Woo! 'Cause you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I know that there have been times, yes, God, when times were hard, but always somehow I made it, yes. I made it through. Okay, I got to stop because I'll be up on here snobbing, crying. Sir will have to flip the camera some kind of way and finish the daggone thing out herself. You hear me? Because God is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Woo! Yes, God. All right, so the boys put on suits. And they attend their graduation. Because at the end of the thing, okay, they end up getting some healing. Okay? Yes, they do. Whew. The boys put on suits, and Melvin, he comes around and he says, I have forgiven you, Mom and Dad. He said, it's not over all the way, but I'm going to try. I'm open to the process. And he says, Mom, I'm sorry for disrespecting you. And I'm sorry. Marvin says, I want to feel like I can trust you, Mom. He said, Dad, I spent my whole life chasing after men, and I should not have to chase after my father. Good. Good. Mikhail says, I forgive you because it's the right thing to do, Dad. And he says, Mom, I just want to be there for my children. I just want you to be there for my children. Marcus says, look, Mom, I need you to have patience with me. Woo! He says, Dad, you are my dude. Miguel is my right hand and you are my left hand. Don't give up on me, Dad. It's going to be hard. And they hug and dap one another. Michael Jr. says, I forgive you. I didn't know how to show you love, but I just want a little bit of yours. And y'all said, baby, get all of it. Giving you the best that I got, honey. I put everything on my wedding ring. I'm giving you the best that I got, yeah. Michael Jr. says that Dad is emotional because he doesn't think they know how much he loves them. Melvin said, you guys did not choose us, but we chose you. So you're going to be okay. Dad, you are open. Dad, are you open to how much they love you without shame or guilt? Iyanla asks him, and he says yes. Christy said that she wants everyone to be closer. She is the oldest sibling, and she's going to be checking on everybody. She said that they got kids that don't know each other, and as the oldest sibling, she will do better to keep the communication open by reaching out to them. Melvin got the master. So at the end of this, Iyanla gives everybody this. I love you too, baby. At the end of this, Iyanla gives all of them certificates, and she reads off, you know, these things, these attributes, and a master gives them a master's degree in these different things. And so Melvin got the master of problem solving. Yes, the father was very remorseful. You can see the pain all over him. The mother, not so much. The mother just won't there. She was extremely disconnected, unfortunately. So Melvin got the master of problem solving. Yes, absolutely, Sharon Hawkins. Thank you for being here. I saw y'all shouting out somebody. Did we have somebody new? Or did Dre come into the room? Let me see what's going on. Hi, Dre! Okay, that's why y'all was like, hi, Dre! Y'all so sweet. Thank you, Sharon Hawkins. She says, Melvin got the master of problem solving. And I like what she said, worthy of the truth of who I am. Hi, Dre. And he has a better relationship with his brother. Marvin got the master of perseverance. He has a good relationship with his dad, but he is still working with his mom. That ain't a surprise. Miguel got the master of leadership. His relationship with his brothers and father is finally together, and he finally feels free. Gracie Max says, Auntie, I wore my bracelet to my doctor and I have surgery. Now, oh, she retracted it. Oh, okay, sir. Sarah, smile. Oh, won't you smile a while with me, Sarah? Sarah, smile. The neck was Sarah. She retracted that message so fast. I think, Gracie, she did it for your privacy. Let me tell y'all something. It is never too late to change your life. I know with this particular episode, I was all over the place. This episode had me all in my feelings. I cried, I smiled, and I was pissed all in one episode. Me too, Dre. I love you too. Gracie said why. Gracie, she'll send you something privately and let you know why she retracted that message. But know that Sarah probably did it because she wanted either to keep it private or her finger accidentally. Gracie, Auntie can explain later. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's why we're going to handle it. But know that she did it in love. Whatever, she did it in love. Because we got to love one another. Okay. But this episode had me the same way. And I know I was all over the place and I was emotional and everything. But you can't help being emotional when it's this kind of episode. And let me tell you, you can change your life anytime you want to. You can right any wrong anytime you want to. Whether or not you and the person are currently talking to one another or not, you can always change any situation that you find yourself in. Because our God is a forgiving God. He is a loving God. He's kind. And any day that you change, get up, you can change your life by the powers of the words that come out of your mouth. It's all love, Gracie Boo. Gracie, no, I love her. So where were we on to? Your review was so on point. Love you. Oh, did you have to leave out? I'm finishing up. I love the show, but sometimes it's too much. I agree, Tasha. Sometimes it is too much. But you know what? A lot of people needed that. And, with everything, I always say, treat it like, some chicken. Eat the meat and throw out the bones. What's good for you. You eat it, and what's not, you throw it away. Great review. Thank you for your time, Auntie. Oh, you're welcome. You're new, aren't you? You look new. Lima Beamer. Yeah, hi. Welcome to the family, sweetie. I have never watched Fix My Life before this episode. It was so powerful. Well, welcome. Y'all, we got somebody new. Hi, sweetie. Thank you so much for taking time out of your night to be with me. And be with the family. We appreciate you so much. Everybody take time out to say hi to Lima Beamer. It's a wake-up call for people to watch. Absolutely. Yes, welcome, boo-boo. You enjoyed it? I'm so glad you did. Thank you for being here. Because everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? Having one, it just would be nice. Because everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? So welcome to Auntie's Advice. Thank you so much for being here. Yes! You singing along, Lena? Okay. Okay. I miss putting that up on my videos. So if any of you all have any questions, comments, anything you want to discuss, you want a quick little song, or yeah, that's my theme music, DJ Coco Joe. Hey family, sing it, girl. I was too. Yes, I love that song. Love that song, Auntie. Y'all want me to sing it again? Come on, let's sing it together. 1, on 3. Okay, y'all ready? On 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, and everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? Having one, it just would be nice. Cause everybody needs a sweet old auntie, right? So welcome to Auntie's Advice. So welcome to Auntie's Advice. I'm so glad to be back out here with y'all. I'm so glad to be back on my schedule. Oh, thank you. Mary Grace 5 McKay. Oh, she's new too. Hi, welcome. Oh my God. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all are here at a good time because this is like the down season, okay? That's right. Clink, 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 shooby-dooby-hoo. But y'all are lucky that y'all here this time because this is our down season. TLC and all of those people, they kind of like off, you know what I'm saying? And no, it's actually a DC accent. I am a DC Washingtonian, born and raised DC. Don't be putting me in Baltimore now. Okay. But this is our down season, so it's not all crazy and okay. Hey, Washingtonian. So this is our down season. It's not crazy. Usually we have like, okay, some people out here, seriously, over 1,000 people, but this is our down season, and so it's not as many people out here, which is a good time to come in and kind of get to know the family. But I'm from Baltimore. What that mean? LOL. It doesn't mean anything, sweetie. It just means that I'm absolutely honored and proud to be a Washingtonian. That's all it means. So anyway, does anybody have any questions? I'm ready for some more love after lockup already. You were giving me my life with those reviews. Love you, Auntie. Love you too. Who's that? That's Erica Savage. Love you too. Thank goodness. Because, man, 90 Days had me all in my feelings. Okay, 90 Days is coming back up this summer. And that will be good night, Mama Mia. You're so welcome. Go ahead and share it if you like to on your platforms or, wherever you share your videos. Do you have a boyfriend? I've got everyone addicted to you at work, and I think my boss may have a crush on you. Hi, boss. Hi, Latasha's boss. Hi, Bubba. Wait a minute. Let me take my glasses off. Hi, boss. How are you, Latasha's boss? Do I have a boyfriend? No, don't have time for one right now. But when I do, I'll hook you up with maybe a dinner or two on you. You know what I'm saying? A couple of little red ball. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not dating anybody, and I don't have time. But I'm so honored that you would ask me that. That's Latasha Moore. Hey, baby. What's up with Abby and Sean? Abby and Sean have broken up. And she broke up because allegedly, according to Abby, well, it ain't allegedly, she said it. According to Abby, she was being stalked. And there were two women who were stalking her in the DR and calling her all kinds of whores and, other offensive words. And she just got tired of it. And she broke up with Sean and decided that she did not want to continue the relationship with him. And I don't blame her. They came out, allegedly, according to them, they came out to do this show because they were thinking that it would help other couples who were looking for love abroad. And they feel like they got bamboozled and tricked. They regret doing the show with TLC. And so, but most of the Instagram and Facebook posts have been about basically that, just kind of talking about what it is they did not like about, the show and this, that, and the other. And so I think that, she ended up shutting down her Facebook account because she was being harassed on Facebook. and she ended up shutting down some other social media platforms that she was on. And when these two women were hackling and her and the DR, it just got to be too much. She said that she is going back to church and she's giving her life back over to God because she really needs it. She feels like there's some bad things that she's done. She even goes in to talk about having unprotected sex with Sean, which I thought was, just a little bit too much because really, don't nobody care about that. I mean, ugh. But she talked about, like having unprotected sex with him. And I just was like, okay, now, like, Abby, like, for real, that's a little bit too much. But Sean is devastated by it. He, has his heart still open and he wants to be with Abby. And he said that this is not the first time that she's gotten angry over things like this and has broken up with him, and that he's hoping that you know, she will reconsider. And I'm just saying, this is your last chance for love. Yes, it's his last chance for romance tonight. Oh, I need you by me, beside me, to guide me, okay, to hold me, to scold me, because when she's bad, she's so bad. So, come on, Shawnee, and dance that dance. Okay. It's over, boy. Okay. Move on. He better go get tested. Okay. Yeah, because we know she had the scabies, when she was messing around with Chris. So she says, Sean, go to church. Okay. Okay. And then she was like, on the broadcast on her way out to church and everything, telling my Uber's on the way and stuff. Girl, I sit down. You thought that, like Sean said, oh my God, yeah, bro, okay. No, she didn't. She said she did not. Okay. Okay. Good night, Sandra. I just think that they just need to move on with one another. Their goal was, number one, he said, to bring awareness to people who dating other people, internationally, and to, help Abby's business. Well, neither one of those helped her business, and they definitely brought awareness to couples who are dating overseas. You know what I'm saying? They definitely did that. But I mean, hey, okay, I digress. Dre, do you mean that older guy, Chris? Yes. People have been asking about Chris, and she said that she sees Chris in the market from time to time, but yes, we are going to visit the DR. Miss Michelle, I need to reach out to you, honey bunny. So if you get an opportunity, reach out to me, or I'm gonna reach out to you, and it'll probably be tomorrow. Okay, need to talk to you. So is Gracie okay? I want to make sure that Gracie is okay and she's still with us, or did she go? Okay, Lena. Okay. Is Gracie still with us, or did she have to go? Gracie. Okay, I think she had to go. But anyway, y'all, it's been almost 2 hours, and so I don't want to belabor you all. I love you, Miss Michelle. Um, okay, she probably ended up having to go to bed. Okay, Miss. Oh no, she didn't. No, she didn't. Don't be laughing at Miss Michelle. Miss Michelle is, she's so bad. That's right, Sarah. Thanks, Michelle. I love y'all to pieces. So, nobody has any questions, I'm not going to belabor you all any longer. I will be back out here on Thursday, and we will talk about whatever. Yeah, she's all Miss Michelle is always being silly. I love you all. So you all have a great night. Sarah, thank you so much for moderating. I love you, sweetie. Love all of y'all. Okay, Tasha, we definitely need a bell for her. Hi, Diamond in the Rough. Good night, you all. Love you all to pieces. Mwah. Be good this week. Be good to somebody. Make sure you do something kind for somebody and live your best life on purpose. Bye.